Hello everyone, in this video let's discuss what is meant by an annualized return. Now there are two types of annualized returns. When you make a single investment, a lump sum investment, and want to know what is the annualized return after 8 months, after 18 months, after 1 year, after 10 years and so on, you calculate what is known as the compound annualized growth rate or the CAGR. If you make multiple investments, they could be periodic, that is every month like an SIP, or you can do it randomly, or when you want to time the market and so on, you make it now and then. So when you make multiple investments of any type, you calculate what is known as the extended internal rate of return. So let's look at each of them now. Now, if you invest 12,000 for 1 year and it becomes 23,358, what is the annualized return? So you calculate 12,000 into 1 plus CAGR is equal to this 23,358. So if you invert that formula, you will get a CAGR of 95%. Suppose you invest 12,000 for 12 years and it becomes 1,42,693. The annualized return is calculated in the following way. 12,000 into 1 plus CAGR to the power 12. That is 1 plus CAGR is multiplied 12 times, where 12 is the investment period, and that's equal to 1,42,693. If you invert this, you will calculate the CAGR, and that's 22.9%. Now, let's say you do a annual SIP for 12 years. That is, you invest 12,000 rupees once a year, and you do this for 12 years. So those are the 12 installments. That's the first column on the left. So the investment each year is just 12,000 rupees, and the first installment is allowed to grow or compound for 12 years. The second installment is allowed to grow or compound for 11 years, third installment for 10 years, the fourth for 9, and so on, and the 12th installment just for 1 year. So the period in which each installment is allowed to grow or compound decreases as the installment number increases. Now, let's say the first installment, which remained invested for 12 years, has a final value of 1,42,693, which is just what we saw now. The second installment has a final value of 73,308. The third installment after 12 years that is at the end of the investment period, not after 12 years, after 10 years. That is, each installment has a different duration. That's 64,674. The fourth, which grows for 9 years at 43,251, and so on. Now, so you have the final value of each installment. You have the period in which each installment grows, and you can calculate the CAGR of each installment. So the first installment is 22.9% CAGR. That's the annualized return. The second installment at 17.9%, and so on. Now, if you add the final value of each installment, it gives you 5,17,524. Now, this is the total value after 12 years. Typically, in any SIP investment, all you know at the end of the investment period is the period you invested in, the amount you invested, and the total value. You do not know the final value of each installment. And this is just for illustration. Now, in this scheme, which is quite simplistic, we know the final value of each installment, and we calculate the CAGR of each installment from that. Now, this is messy because the CAGR is different. Suppose I reframe this entire table in the following way. Now, I tell myself, look, the number of installment is the same, the investment is the same, the years each installment grows is the same. Instead of having a CAGR for each installment, I replace all those different CAGRs by a single CAGR, which I call X. So each installment grows at the same CAGR of X. And with this X, I now calculate the final value of each installment. Now, I must adjust this X such that the total investment value after 12 years is exactly the same, is exactly 5,17,524. So, what you know, basically, in this problem, you know the number of installments, the amount of installments, and you know the final value. With this information, you must set a CAGR for each installment, which is the same. Let's call it X, and that X is then used to compute these final values of each installment and to give you the total answer, which would be matching with your account statement. Now, this is what is done by Excel or any other software. Now, let's look at the formula for this. I'm not this can look a little scary. I'm not going to explain this to you because it's a little messy. But each installment, you can see those blue CAGR values that represents each installment, the first installment, second installment, and so on. And that is how Excel calculates this. This cannot be calculated in a straightforward manner. You have to use an approximation technique called Newton-Raphson method. It's an approximation, and it's not exactly flawless, but for typical situations, it works quite well. Now, this is uh, the table with all the excess replaced by 18.639%. If I use 18.639% as the CAGR of each installment, I will then calculate the final value of each installment, and the total value will still be the same. It's 5,17,524. So the whole idea of XIRR annualized return is this: you are investing periodically. Each investment grows with its own CAGR. You do not use the individual CAGR. You replace all those individual CAGRs by a fixed CAGR for all investments. You use that CAGR and find out the final value of each installment until it matches the total value. That is, in this case, it's 5,17,524. So it is this adjustment that is being done. So you replace individual CAGRs, which are all different, by a single CAGR, which is known as the XIRR or the adjusted CAGR, and it is the same for each installment.